Hey guys, ready for today? I will just real quick. I need to share this real quick. So I'm just gonna wait for you guys to come by. I already have the questions, set aside, and let me just share real quick. What I will say though, this is not a reading session right now. Right now, it's questions and answers. So that's the questions that I put aside for me to answer you guys. The reading session will be 2 weeks from now, something like that. So let me just share this real quick. That, and I'm just gonna share it to the swamp real quick. And if you guys are not at the swamp group, you should be, because that is one of the best groups that I've ever been in. So let me go swamp, and that is called the Swamp One Tribe. So go and visit them if you're not over there. So let me do this. There's that. Hi guys. So this is what we're gonna do. All right. So yep, Swamp One Tribe, one of the best groups I've ever been in. So now, cause this is what we're gonna do right now. So it's gonna be just regular questions and answers, of course, spiritually based. Hi. So this is not a reading session, so I'm not reading. I'm not throwing shamalongos. That's gonna be in 2 weeks. So I do have prepared, some of the questions, the comments that have previously been sent to me, and I will make this to be about 1 hour long, and I will take questions from you guys that are, sitting here live with me, because it's kind of like not fair for me to be answering only those questions, and it's not fair for me to ignore those questions either. So we're gonna make some kind of a combination. Just keep in mind that when you write your questions here in the live feed, I may lose them. So when I say write your questions now, so then write your questions at that time, because it's gonna be gone through the feed. It's just gonna be like lost. So I did take those. Hi Gypsy. Hi everybody. I did take those questions and put them in my notes. So let me just go open up my notes real instead of real quick, I'm saying real here, not over here, and real quick. So it's like, so, all right, Teresa, and this is actually some of these questions. Hi, Sonia. Some of these questions are from like last session, because I did not get to answer them. So hi, Willow. So I will be answering them right now. And it's not that many, it's just few of them. So Teresa asked, what about if you did not have a good relationship with a deceased loved one? Meaning, thank you, Gypsy. You're beautiful too. Look at that hair. So this question is basically, if how I talk about honoring all of your ancestors, like all of them, the good, the bad, the ugly, like every single one of them. So she's asking what happens if you personally did not have a good relationship with them. And I have talked about you, thank you, Amanda. And I've talked about this in a video of mine on YouTube, but I will address it right now too. So you have not gotten along with this person that is your relative and that is, I was about to say dead, but yeah, basically dead, right? Hi. Is it a problem? Can be. It can be a problem, mostly for you. Um, Sometimes these people that, if you guys did not like each other, if it was mutual and if it was really deep, that kind of a feeling can really stay even after they're dead. So they can keep not liking you, and this is what I'm talking about when it comes to negative ancestors. affecting your life sometimes. So it's very important that you personally can forgive a person, and whether they're alive or if they're dead, you need to forgive them. If they're dead, it makes it a little bit easier because then you can talk, right? You can talk to them regardless, because the dead are always around. They're gonna hear you regardless, right? So you talk to that person and you tell them how you feel, and you tell them how they made you feel and all these things. Now, if this person is alive, that they wronged you, hi Rachel, love you too, Baba, you know it. Now, if this person is alive and you have a very bad relationship with them, um, I know that sometimes there is very bad situations, and when I'm talking about very bad, I'm talking about molestations and stuff like that. Now, that can be hard to get over, but anything else can be worked on. And if you cannot work it on it with them being alive face to face, you need to forgive them. Like, your heart needs to be clean. Your heart needs to be pure, because this is for you. This is not for them, but it's for you, because you cannot have ill feelings for any of your relatives, because when we're talking about ancestors, we're talking about everybody. So we're talking about uncles and aunts and cousins, and this is really not just your grandparents and your parents and stuff like that. It's like it's your parents' siblings. Flies are driving me nuts. So it's your parents' siblings, it's your grandparents' siblings and their children. It's a huge amount of dead people that we're talking about here, and they all carry your DNA. You're all sharing a DNA, so you gotta be cool with all of them. You have to forgive all of them. So I have had a grandma that I don't know if you guys have heard this story. It is still available in a YouTube video, but I'll tell you the story anyways for the ones that have not seen my YouTube channel. And if you haven't, look it up, Ancestral Witch. Now, what was happening was, back home we lived together, right? All of us, parents and grandparents, everybody lives together. Now, I did not get along with my grandma that lives with me. I didn't like her. I know that she raised me, but I didn't like her. I felt like she felt a certain way about my mom, and I was always fighting with her. And I was here when she passed. Her heart literally blew up. I learned this later. So now, even if they're step parents and step great parents, if they have adopted you, they're still kind of part of the family, okay? If they helped raise you, because they're still part of it in a way. So yes, you still have to work it in the same way. So this grandma of mine, I did not like her, right? She passed. I was doing the ancestral stuff. I did not want to call for her name because I was elevating them every Saturday. I was saying prayers to them and I was elevating them. I would never say her name. It took for my cousin to come over to America, to visit. And I talked to him. She lived with him before she passed. Previously, she lived with us, and then she got so mad and something, and then she moved over there with him. So we said, fuck her, right? And then I decided to say her name while I was elevating her, and quite literally, my chest just like, kind of like, he's the guy that I forgot the English name. They constricted, I couldn't breathe. So my cousin said that's kind of like how he died, how she died. So go ahead, elevate all of them, talk to them all, and let them know how you feel. So now we have another question over here. Now we have TB, I do not know that. Who shares my kitchen? And to be honest, I don't believe people when they say that they see these spirits on videos either. So let's keep it up. Now, Lakeisha is saying, I'm torn between making me some hot food so that my kid's father can leave my home. We co-parent and aren't together. So it's either I move out and find another home or do the hot foot thing. Now, when it comes to this kind of thing, I know that this is kind of like for a reading, but it's not, because I'm just going to give you an advice real quick. This is hot footing him is not a good idea, because hot foot is going to keep you moving, okay? Him is going to keep him moving. So it's not a good idea, because he's almost like never going to be around when it comes to the child. So when it comes to the child and co-parenting and being a parent together, so that you're in, it's best that you work on making more money and then you move out. That is the best option. Way better than doing a hot foot on him. It's really not cool. If you guys did not have a child together, then I would say yes, go ahead, do hot foot all day long, you know. But no, it's better you do some prosperity work on yourself, do some money drawing, do some success work on yourself, and get the fuck out. So do you have to meditate in order to talk to them? Yes. Sorry, Devin, there is no other way around that. You have to be able to sit quietly and, to just, be able to listen to them. Now, unless you are a medium, a strong-ass medium, then you don't have to meditate. Then you automatically, hear them, feel them, and all this stuff. So, now, Christy, I teach those kind of stuff in my class, for cleansing. So let me show you. I'm going to give you the link of that product right now. Class cleansing. Classes. Sorry, guys, for this. How to cleanse yourself. There it is. So this class explains exactly how to cleanse, tells you how to pray over it, how to draw, and gives you recipes for different kinds of cleansings. So there you have it. It gives you recipe for cleansing, curse removing, minus spirits removing. And then you have recipes to draw to yourself, whether it's prosperity or protection and stuff like that. So that's the class. Now, let me go to the next question. Now, April Victoria says, I was twice told that I have a tree spirit with me. I would love to honor the spirit, but how? And is this an actual physical tree somewhere? Because I have a tree in the front yard and I feel drawn to hug this tree, but the neighbors. Okay. Now, okay, so if you feel like you have a tree spirit, right? It's very possible that it is a specific spirit in a specific tree, So if you feel drawn to this tree, then go ahead and forget. You're welcome, Christy. But go ahead, forget about the neighbors. Who the fuck cares about the neighbors? Are the neighbors paying your bills? No. So then, if the neighbors are not paying your bills, then don't freaking worry about it. Just, hug the tree if you need to do that in the middle of the night and in the middle of the night. Leave offerings by the tree. Talk to the tree. And if you feel awkward doing it, you can even go to the park if you want. Go to the park and try to see if there's any other tree that you feel drawn to and you feel connection to, There's no bad way about that. And it doesn't matter if you're hugging a tree. Like, what are they going to say? Oh, she's hugging a tree? Who the fuck cares? You're not doing anything. You're not killing anybody. You're not beating up anybody in the middle of the street. You're hugging a fucking tree. So hug your fucking tree, Right. Do it. Who cares? They don't. What are they going to do? They're going to be like, oh, that's the cookie lady on the block. Big deal. They're just going to stay away from you. And that's even better. Stay the fuck away, So, so do it. Okay, Judy. You've been scratched 7 years ago because you were very sick and you read tarot since always. We can work many spiritual paths without mixing them. So, yeah, you can work few spiritual paths without mixing them. Yes. but eventually they will sometimes overlap a little bit. But yeah, you can work, like I keep my Balkan stuff separated from my Palo. But my Palo and my Bakulu is actually a separate initiation. That is the cult of the ancestors. They sometimes overlap, but they are from the same area. They are Congo derived anyways. So but my Balkan is separate, even though it's like it just insane how much similarities there is between my Balkan stuff and Palo. Someone who has suffered from low self-confidence and spiritually gifted, so you can overcome their fear of charging for services. Now, you need to get yourself together first before you can charge for services. And I say this a lot, and a lot. You cannot be a huge fucking mess and then try to help somebody, because you're just gonna bring your issues to somebody else. So stay away from that, first of all. Then work on your self-confidence. There is no magical way around it. You have to face your issues. You have to face your issues all the way back to childhood. So you have to sit down and write down everything that bothers you, that triggers you, that angers you, everything about it. You have to write it down. And then you have to face it. You have to embrace yourself for who you are. And you have to start recognizing your weaknesses. And you have to start recognizing like your bad behavior, right? And then when you start recognizing it, don't beat yourself up over it. Just work on correcting either the direction or whatever it is that you're doing. So magically speaking, spiritually, when it comes to self-confidence, you can work with any herbs that deal with victory and that are kind of like I would say like militaristic. So like I like Angelica root for that because it deals with kind of with police and with Michael and stuff like that. I like cinnamon for that because it deals with power. I like ginseng for that because it also deals with personal power. It's very any herb that is connected to the sun or Mars is my personal favorite. So work with that and work on yourself. And then if you're gonna start with doing stuff for people, maybe you can start by doing slowly readings, and then with each one of those, your confidence can start building up. But yeah, you have to work on yourself first before you can start charging or doing shit for other people, period. Mary Thompson is saying wrestling with justice, not court. Not wanting to do revenge, baneful work, any wisdom experience that you want to drop. Okay, guys, so when it comes to justice is seriously blind, okay? Justice has no prejudice. Justice has like it doesn't care. It does not give a shit. Our court systems are a different story. But justice as itself, now you gotta be very careful when you're doing that. So when you're doing justice, you have to be very careful to make sure that your ass is clean. We are very like this is human trait. This is normal for everybody, right? So I'm not dogging on people. This is just completely normal. As human beings, we are very prone to seeing what it is that other people are doing to us. And we're emotionally attached to that. Our pride, our ego, is all attached to that. And it's very easy for us to say, hey, that person is fucking me up like this. Or that person is doing this person is doing that. Now, it's very hard to see what it is that you are doing, So, oh my God, I've missed so many comments. Hi, everybody. Now, justice. Now, you got to be very careful if you're the one that, if this is connected to you, that you have never done anything to this person. And it is very easy. Like, you could have said something to this person. You could have done some business deal to hurt this person. You don't know. So if you're working with justice, right? So if you're working with justice, better make sure that you're completely clean. Now, I would say a good alternative to that is, if you don't want to do any baneful work, a good alternative to that is to put this person in a mirror, right? Or between two mirrors, right? So that way what they're doing is coming back to them. This way you're not technically calling for justice, because when you call for justice, it might come and bite your ass instead. So the mirror work kind of can mediate that. So I just got thirsty. And it's hot and it's humid outside. This house cannot cool off. Lulu, okay, I'm reading your comment now, saying that you not need to learn how to calm down, and that you are initiated into Lukumi, and that you feel frustrated because your spirituality is stagnant. First of all, I have to tell you, you have to talk to your padrino or your madrina. Hands down. And I really don't give advice to people that are initiated and have godparents. Not because I don't like you or anything like that, but because every house works in a very different way, okay? So I don't want to kind of butt into other people's business. So you need to talk to them when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I will tell you one thing. My padrino had me work facing myself. Now, I do have that available in the store. It's called, that guidance. It's called, hell the fucking, I forgot my own freaking shit that I have listed. I'm just gonna tell you, I'm not gonna put the link up because I don't want you feeling like I'm pushing you to buy anything. I just want to explain the stuff to you, okay? A little bit, as much as I can, without butting into somebody else's backyard. I don't like doing that. So let me just see this. Not the classes, but this is in guidance and coaching. Yes, in guidance and coaching. So it's called Step Into Your Own Power, Know Yourself, right? So this is what my padrino had me do, and this is how all that stagnation and all that frustration started like going away, because I started getting to know myself, So he had me working with the 7 deadly sins, and I was working on every single one of them, facing every single one under his guidance, and this helped me embrace everything about me. And this is going to kind of like help go over those obstacles that you're having, and all of those obstacles are all only in here, nowhere else but here, okay? So talk to your godparents, okay? Now, let me see from the older questions again. So I also have a question that is asking, why do nature spirits get so much negative press? This is going to be a very short answer, and mostly it is because the nature spirits are kind of primal, right? They're so old, and they're not. They're very ambiguous. So they're very ambiguous, and they don't give a shit. They don't care for you, whether you're gonna do good in your life or whether you're gonna drop that and like burst. They just don't care, right? So if you like, it's kind of like our folk tales about the Samovili, right? These are the nymphs in the forests. Some of the nymphs are in forests. They're not all there. Some of them are in water. But anyways, that's a different topic. So okay, so this is like some of our Samovili, right? Like my baba, like my grandma used to tell us when we were kids, at night, not to go walking around too much outside, because we may step into the Samovili's dinner where they eat, and they will take our sight away, or they will punish us with illness or all these things, right? So these are nature spirits, and they they really don't care. They just don't. And you are not a priority of theirs. You are not in their domain, so they can help you or they can fuck you up, and it can go either way. So this is why usually these nature spirits get such a bad rep. Now let me see some more of your comments over here. So Christy Navarro, you're asking, what if you're not close to your family because the family is toxic, and how do you work with the ancestors? So because you don't know who they are. All right, Christy, like I do that kind of a divination where you start understanding your family on a spiritual level, and what kind of totems you have, and what kind of spirits are walking with you. And in that divination, I do give you guidance on how to start and how to do this. But when it comes to, let me give you the link to that. But when it comes to not getting along with your family, that is very important to get along with them, because how are you going to do anything with the dead if you don't um, if you cut ties completely on all levels with the living? Like it's completely like it doesn't work. I always say you have to be on the same level with the dead and with the living. I just posted the link to that ancestral investigation. So I understand toxic family, and please do keep them as far away as possible. Keep them on a very long leash, like long or close, but whatever. But whatever lets you control them more, and so they don't butt in so much into your business. That one. Two, you need to build yourself up as well. If it's easy for them to influence you when it comes to decisions or how you feel, if they're making you feel bad, or if contact with them makes you feel a certain way about yourself, that's on you. That's not on them. So you need to work on yourself. You need to raise your own shit, right? Stand on your fucking 2 feet and don't be a weak ass, right? Now, let me have some water. Now, if you're not a weak ass and you don't allow them, they don't make you feel any certain kind of way, and you still want to keep away from them, that's fine. That's fine. It matters how you feel about them. And sometimes when it comes to parents, there is certain obligations that come with the territory. And judging by your last name, you are ethnic person. It seems like Hispanic. Not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. But in cultures like that, my culture is the same way. It's expected that the younger ones are going to take care of the elderly ones. That's that. So it is your obligation to still take care of them. You can feel about them however you want. You need to take care of them when the time comes. At least when the time comes, they need to be taken care of. You need to do your obligations. All right, so now let me see other questions. Okay, Lulu. Now I'm reading the stuff that you have spoken to your padrino and madrina, and they've given you permission to seek guidance outside of your ile. That's a problem. I have come to a couple of other people that their godfather has given them permission to seek guidance outside of the house. That is a red flag. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because for the people that are in my house, especially when they are new, when they're in gayos, when they are just learning, they need to follow my instructions. Because every house, as I said, every house works in a very different way. Every house carries a different energy. So the ones that are my godchildren, they better follow my advice and don't give a shit and don't bother with no books and no other fucking people. Because it's me that needs to tell them which way they need to go, what they need to do, how they need to do this, and help them grow. Once they're standing on their 2 feet, then they can go ask advice outside of the house. And then again, come and talk to me about it. That's how that is when it comes to, these spiritual houses. So that's a red flag. I'm telling you that right now. All right, now, what do you mean, what if your house is Christian? I'm not, when I'm talking about houses, I'm talking about the African traditional religions like Palo, like Santeria, like, voodoo and stuff like that. That's the houses that I'm talking about. And, there is no, there's no Christian, there is some Christianity, involved in there, but not really. Pam, how do you know that when you're connected to your spirit guides? It feels like I'm talking to myself, but I get different feelings. You can't know for sure. That's why it's called faith. Let me just let me just put that out there right now. You need to just have faith. Talk to them, whoever it is. Well, then gypsy, that doesn't concern you. Then if you don't have an African spiritual house, these are not really African, but they're traditional African religions. You know. So whatever I was saying about these houses and godparents, it doesn't concern you. It concerns just the ones that are initiated. So about, not feeling not knowing, if you're connected. This is a typical normal concern for everybody that is, starting out. I've been there too. And then, years later, like when you're thinking about it, because at first you're not sure if is this me, just, is this wishful thinking? Am I feeling what I'm really feeling, or am I really wishing it to feel this way? Am I hearing, am I smelling, am I tasting, or am I, is it still, is it all in my head? And these are normal concerns. We all go through them. And you just really have to have faith, because at the end of the day, it may as well be your spiritual guide, and you're always connected to them. There is not a time when you're not connected to them. So you're always connected. If they talk to you or not, that's a different story. They don't, it depends how you expect them to talk. Are you coming into the meditation session with anxiety? Are you coming in with expectations? That all of it makes a difference. Gypsy, how are you going to be building an African spiritual house? Do you know how stupid that even sounds? There's no such thing. If you're not initiated and you're a woman, and women don't build spiritual houses in African traditional religions, it's the men. So there goes that. Now, what path are you talking about, Carolyn? All of you are so so confused. Like, you got to get it straight. If you're not if you're not initiated in any African religion like Palo, Santeria, Ifa, Voodoo, you are not creating nothing on that level. And if you're a woman and you are initiated, then you know better. So there should be no more talk about that with non-initiated people. Now, when you are meditating, you should expect nothing, and yes, and you will receive everything. So when you're going to connect with your guides or with your ancestors and stuff like that, so when you sit down to meditate, you should not be coming in there thinking, am I going to hear something? Am I going to see something? Am I going to smell something? So don't do that kind of stuff, because when you're doing that kind of stuff, you're shooting yourself in the foot. So, Gypsy, if you're looking, then you need to be looking for a house, not for you to create a house, but you need to look for a whatever it is that you're looking for, a tata, a hungan, or a freaking babalao. That's what you need to be looking for. So, yeah. I can be your spirit animal, Gina, if you feed me well, please. And I need a lot of meat, okay? I'm protein bound. All these muscles need to eat. Oh, feed me. I'll be your spiritual animal. I'm there. I'm gonna be coming to your house after I die to eat. Just feed me, mama. Feed me good food. so, so let's go on to next section. Well, Sonia, I gotta be honest. Like, I don't want to. Like, I know that sometimes I can seem so rude, and this is why people don't like me. Some people start liking me, and then they hate me. And this is the reason why, because sometimes it can sound rude, but it is the facts that I'm saying. When I'm not sure, I'm saying I'm not sure. When it's a fact, it's a fact. So, it is what it is. Don't waste your time. I don't want you being confused and dazed on this arena, because it's so easy to do that, especially in America, and especially with the internet right now. So, you know, um, yes, baby, Mexican food. I'm down for that all day long. It just don't just don't be cooking beans, because I don't need to fart too much, okay? So, so give me some rice and give me some of that, tomatoes and all that stuff. Now, if anybody is, really, if anybody's getting if anybody's getting their butt hurt, then so be it. How did I find my mentor? My tata, my godfather. Okay, so I was also searching. So this, a lot of you guys may feel probably the same way that I felt. So now I've been searching for something that deals with my ancestors, because I knew that there is more that I can do for my ancestors um, than what I was doing at the time, right? Thank you, Christy. Sometimes people get offended. I think that I offended somebody just now. So now so I was looking for these stuff. So I met a woman but lived close by to me, that was connected to Santeria, and I was in awe and in love with the practice, right? So I'm like, okay, I may start looking for somebody around here. Maybe I can get to know the religion a little bit more. But this is Metro Detroit, so I never really found anybody. I found only one person, and she's still my friend on Facebook. I found only one person, and asked her if she knows anybody. So she just put me in some Facebook groups, right? That was it, Facebook groups. So I was in these Facebook groups. I know nothing, and I know better than to believe people, everything that they say. So here comes this Tata, that lives in Ohio, that is close to Michigan, right? So after a while, we were kicking it in these Facebook groups, and I, sent him a message asking him if he knows any babalaos that are around the Metro Detroit area. So he asked me why the fuck. He's direct too, so it's the same shit. So he asked me why the fuck do I want a fucking babalao. So I explained to him that I like the religion, and that there is, about I want to do more for my ancestors. I feel like there's more that I can do for my ancestors that I'm doing currently. Like I'm feeling a nudge. But previously, before all that, I've been praying to my ancestors, asking them to take me to the best teacher that is for me, right? So and then he's like, also, that's what you want to do. So he asked me, have you aligned yourself with your ancestors, and this and that and third and fourth. So it came that I went and got initiated into the cult of ancestors, and that's how that all started. So I've been his godchild for about 6 years now, I believe, something like that. Yeah, it feels like it's been forever. But yeah, so that's how I found my mentor. And I was actually driving to his house, and I did not learn everything right away. I had so many times that I have been asking him questions, and I wanted to be able to run before I crawl, and he basically just ignored the fuck out of me. So me telling you guys all this is better than me ignoring you. So because he he just told me that, or he straight up told me that's none of your business just yet. So there you have it. You cannot go and do whatever the fuck you want to do. There's rules everywhere, and all of these folk magic things are not without any rules. There's rules everywhere. So if you're coming into hoodoo or folk magic or anything, and you expect for it to be like, free for all, you're in for a rude surprise. Now, thank you, Anne. So Anita is asking if she can recover her abilities because she blocked them. But yeah, you can recover them. Just start practicing again, and meditating again, and doing what you were doing, before that. Of course, you can recover them. The only thing you need to do is consistency, because it's like I learned this in the gym, and this is why I always talk about the gym, and this is why I talk how mundane and spiritual are not separated, like, at all. This is what the gym taught me. It is that consistency and patience pays off. It's okay, Anya. You can. You're fine. You're fine. So consistency and patience pays off. Because, like, if you want to build muscles, right? If you want to build muscles, they're not gonna happen overnight, and they're not gonna happen if you do it once a week or once a month. It's just not gonna happen, right? Discipline. So you have to. It's of paramount importance. There is no way around it. And hi, Melissa. I hope you're enjoying it. Well, Pam, you don't find out what your abilities are. They just come as you're practicing, as you're meditating, as you're being consistent with your practice. It's just gonna show up. Nobody's gonna tell you what your abilities are. That is just kind of like that reminds me of the TV show The Craft. It doesn't, or whatever. Yeah, I think it was The Craft. It doesn't happen like that. It's not like that at all. It's not romanticized. It's very plain. It's kind of like simple and boring. But this is why people give up, because it's boring, because it is simple. People always are trying to look for more complicated shit. The stuff are not complicated at all. It's so simple. Everybody has abilities. Absolutely everybody. Now, not everyone is on level 10 with mediumship or whatever. Sometimes you are meant to reach only level 2, and you should be fine with that. Well, Craft was a movie, yeah, but which one? Charmed was the series. That's right, Charmed. Yeah, definitely it's work. It's an everyday freaking work, and it takes years. Years, not months. Years. It can take 5 years, 3 years, 10 years. It's gonna take a while, and you need to be consistent. Absolutely consistent. That is how you can excel in them. Pam, there is no other way around it. That's the simplicity of it. You excel in them by meditating, and that's as simple as it is. If you want to do more, you can honor your ancestors. And now I'm gonna plug my service, my readings. I already put a link, to the reading, or you can go to ancestralwitch.com and look for the ancestral reading and get that and get yourself started with ancestral veneration. I have a YouTube video on this too. There is no such thing as an empath, which everybody's an empath. If I'm not an empath, then I'm a sociopath. So there is no such thing as an empath. And if you do feel these things from other people, that's not something that you want, because that is going to just weigh you down, because that's somebody else's crap. So you need to put yourself protection, and you need to, separate yourself from that. Kukla, I can't keep telling you all that stuff. I already gave you attention once. Now, if you want to know more, you can come and buy investigation from my store, ancestralwitch.com, and go and get the consultation for problems. Yes, we're all empathic. So there is no such thing. I mean, there is, but not in the way that it's presented on the internet and in books and stuff like that. Because if you're not empathic, then you're a sociopath. you're a serial killer. So, and you're not. So you're a normal ass human being. So guard yourself away from the feelings of the others. Don't let them do that, and work on your willpower, because usually people that collect I hate saying this, usually people that collect feelings from other people are very weak. And I'm not saying this to be diminishing you or anything. Weak emotionally. So you got to build yourself up, okay? You have to do that. Now, let me see some more of these previously written questions. Now, Miss Morrison was asking this 2 weeks ago. Now, yeah, that's psychic vampirism, exactly. Now, she says, my mother is very metaphysical, has been channeling spirits for many, many years within her small group of people that have been coming together weekly for almost 50 years. I'm preparing for her transition, most likely in the next 6 months. Should I ask her permission to use her graveyard dirt before she passes? She knows nothing about magic, but she knows a lot about the spirit world. She says we are our ancestors. Okay. That's okay, Kendria. That everybody is. Most of the people are weak ass fucking people. So I was too. I had to work on that shit. That's fine. There's nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. So, about the question right now, what she was asking, and that her mother said that we are our ancestors. We are definitely our ancestors, because when we give birth, we actually bring an ancestor back alive. And this is something that has been culturally in my culture, and I know this to be true also in the Congolese traditions too. So this is kind of like quite wide in the in on this planet, right? So now she was asking if it's okay for her to ask her mother before she passes to use her graveyard dirt. Yes, it is okay to ask her that. But I'm going to say this. When she does pass away, you need to leave her alone for a whole year, okay? Because it takes about a year for her to get to the ancestors. So for that 1 year, you're not going to bother her with working with her graveyard dirt, grave dirt. Nor you're going to bother her with spells, nor you're going to bother her with, none of that stuff, right? So, Azare, I do have testimonials. You just have to go through the light settings on my store and look them up. Or you can go through the pictures of the fan page. I have some testimonials as well. And in the reviews as well. So, do your homework. Now, you can speak to her before 1 year is out. Yes, definitely, because you can go to the grave and speak to her. You can have a little bit separate space at the house if it's not done in church, because usually that 1 year, all the candles and stuff like that is not done at the house, because you want to keep her out of the house. All these funeral rituals that we have going on are in order to confuse the recent dead to not be able to come back home, to go to where they need to go, to the over there, right? To transition, basically, yes. So now, when you do this person, when you venerate this person for this 1 year, it needs to be done in church, candles lit for her, or at the grave, candles lit. But every day, that should be done. But by us in our culture, it's every day for 40 days, and then we have other things like this for 6 months and then 1 year. But all this is done in order for these people to be able to transition and not to come back to the house. This is why you don't do anything in the house. So after 1 year is over, once she's over there with the ancestors, then you can bring her picture in the house, and then you can venerate her at the house, and don't worry so much about that whole if she's going to get stuck over here or not when it comes to that. You are most welcome, guys. How did I make myself stronger? Well, I worked on that thing. On with the 7 deadly sins, I do have a service. I do have coaching for that on my website. That is called Step into Your Own Power. So I did that with my godfather. That was first, facing myself, and then I went to the gym. The gym was a huge catalyst for me strengthening myself, because if you guys have seen me years ago, I looked and acted like a little mouse, basically, you know. I was emotionally weak. I gotta admit that. I ain't gonna hide that. There's nothing to be ashamed of. We're all like that. We are human. So I had to do that. Now, let me see if we have. Thank you, Afua. Afua. Even for suicides, that is, yeah, even for suicides. Even for suicides, too. So now let me see if there's any. I already answered how I got started on my path, and very, very cathartic. So it was like a switch like this. And that has to be, it's like when they say, like, even when it comes to initiation into spiritual houses, or when you're working on yourself to grow, you know, personally. Now, Gypsy, if you have your ass hurt, honey, please leave, because the longer you stay here, the more your ass will hurt, and it's gonna burn. So, bye. Do yourself a favor, because you're not hurting me nor anybody else over here, huh? I love you and I wish you all the best. Now, opening African, opening African spiritual house. Anyways, so you have to die in order for you to be born again, right? You have to do that. So you have to crumble in order to be built again. So exactly like a volcano, right? The volcano, when it explodes, you know, when it decimates everything, right? It decimates trees, it decimates grass, everything, and then that's fertile ground, and then new life emerges from it. So you got to be destroyed in order for you to be built stronger again. Honey baby, just stop wasting my time. I'm gonna start charging you. My PayPal is ancestralrich@gmail.com. Send me some money, and I'll guide you even more. Anyways, thank you guys. Our time is up, and in about 2 weeks, we should have the free readings. Is it possible to be a magnet for those who have passed immediately? Yes. It's very possible. It's very possible to be a magnet for that. Because it's like, if you are a natural born medium, you kind of have like a light bulb over your head, right? So this is what the dead see that, and they know that you're able to communicate. So they're going to be flocking to you. So if you have a tendency, to attract these kind of spirits, that depends on you. If you want to help them transition, then help them. If not, then put, like a protection around your house or something, and just be very firm with them that you want nothing to do with them. But if this is your gift, maybe you should be working with them. So yeah, it's being a medium is not an easy thing to live with, because they're always all around you. They wake you up at night. So yeah, okay, now I think we're done, and in 2 weeks we're gonna have the free readings session. And if you guys want some reminders for that, go to ancestralwitch.com, scroll all the way down, and put your email in the email subscription thing on the bottom right corner. of the website, and you're gonna get an email reminder of when we're gonna do this. So thank you guys, for being around, and I'll see you later. Bye.